everyone to NoCoders Office Hours, episode 315. I'm here with our members, John, Sean, and Stinko. We'll get started in just a moment. If this is your first time tuning into NoCoders Office Hours, though, we do this 6 times per week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then a second session on Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. And our members can come to each of these Zoom sessions and ask us any bubble questions they want, and we do our best to get them answered. If you would like help with your bubble questions, please go to pronocoders.com and sign up today. John, you were here first.
Did I just beat Sean to it, did I?
Yeah, just barely.
Good. Okay, so back to the thing that we were playing with the other day. I've either broken it or there's something else going on. So you know how we built that thing that goes off and gets all the page indexation status, and we built that 3-stage workflow to go off and get it every 7 days?
Yes.
I subsequently added a couple of extra fields to the database because I realized there was some extra data available from the API that I wasn't initially capturing. So I've added these different things here.
Okay.
I've then added them in, and I think this is highlighting that there is a problem. So I've added them in to the back end workflow. So if I go through here and wherever it is, go off and get them, it says, okay, now, so these are extra. So Google canonical, user canonical, crawled as, blah, 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 blah. So that all seems okay. But then when I ran it from this button to sort of force it to run, nothing happens. So it doesn't, the workflow starts, I can see it in the logs, but it doesn't populate any new data.
Okay,
so
can you go to,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so let's go to the Oh, John, are you there?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-oh. Is it me? Am I frozen?
No, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
Okay. Yep, you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I think you're back. Okay, so let's go check the workflow on that button.
Yep. Where did I put it?
All right, and then, yep, click in that action. So it's set to do current date and time. Okay, great. Now let's go to the first workflow in the back end. Workflows. So we start by grabbing a list of properties, and that's going to grab all of our properties, right? So go ahead and click in that step and click in the search for the list to change. All right, perfect. And then click into step 2.
Yeah, because it didn't change
the same one to run in 7 days. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And step 3.
Yeah, because I've not changed any of this from when we set it up the other day.
Yep, I'm just double checking everything. Yep. So results of step 1, which should be a list of properties, is being sent in, current date and time, to step 2. Okay. Go into step 2. Step 2, properties is set right. And then step 1. First item, and then you're putting in your API key, your current date and time. Okay, and that's all working. And then this is happening when properties count is greater than 0, which is great. That's what we want. So then step 2, also when properties count is greater than 0, we're sending in the properties to the inspection, and we're doing current date and time. We're sending in the pages, which is the results of step 1. Okay, and step 3. And step 1. All right. So you're making your call, you're sending in the first property and the first page when the pages count is greater than 0. Then step 2, we're looking for an existing thing in the database. So click on that search for index inspects for the thing to change. And we're using pages first item. So if we find one that exists, and then we're making all of these changes here. And okay, scroll down. And we're doing this when the pages count is greater than 0 and the search for that page is greater than 0. Okay, perfect. And then the next one, we would create a new one if we didn't find it in the database. So go ahead and click there.
Yeah, and I guess this is perhaps the question is, when we say if we didn't find it, what do we mean? So what I'm wondering is, does this go through and say, if the page already exists, then don't do this, if you see what I mean?
No, if it already exists, then make changes to it.
Right, okay, which is what we want, yeah.
Right, And then the next one is to create a new one. So I'm thinking, let's see, here we go through all of those results and everything. So that looks right. So step 4, as we schedule step 3 to work again, as long as the pages count is greater than 0 and we're subtracting a page each time. All right, and then step 5, when the pages count is less than 1, then we're subtracting a property and scheduling the second one. Okay, so all of that looks good.
Yeah.
Let's do something. Let's just click that ignore privacy rules when running the workflow. I'm just making sure. I don't know why it would run the first time and not subsequent times, but let's do that on all of our scheduling of all the API workflows, just as a superstition. And then in the workflow itself, the 03 index inspection.
Yep.
And then also in the second one and in the first one. Okay. And then now let's go to the logs and go to the scheduler. And we don't have pause tasks on, so that's good. So click show. And we can delete all the 0-1 start ones because we're getting ready to run that initial one again. And let's go into your database. And then, so the last modified date of these was after the created date. So was that the last time that you ran it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, ran it successfully, yeah.
Okay, so it was modifying all of them. It just wasn't pulling in in the fields that you were looking for.
Possibly. I can't remember if I added the fields after I ran it and then it didn't run, or the other way around.
Got it. So let's just go click that button on that page. And then it's not going to be populating any more things in here unless you added any pages to any of those domains that you.
But it should be populating these new results.
Yes, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you, let's go down to the bottom and see more results. And there we go.
Hang on, something's happening.
Yep, it's updating now.
So
yep,
why
it's working?
So why didn't it work the other day? Okay, I'll put that down as one of life's mysteries.
Yep, I mean, it could have been as easy as you clicked the button and you weren't logged in.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Because we didn't have the privacy rules like ignored. So
it looks like I've got a problem there, doesn't it? It's putting the property in twice now for some reason.
Oh.
Why is it doing that?
I bet you I know what's happening is we're adding to that instead of setting the list. So if you go into your backend workflows where we're actually making changes to, there we go. So the property, where is the property one?
There, right at the bottom.
Oh, it's saying each item's URL instead of is it the first items, right?
Probably. URL.
Yeah.
Okay, and that might fix it. Okay.
Yep.
And then it's probably going to be the same here.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Fab. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, of course. Sean, you're up.
What's up? Let me share my screen. It'll be easiest. Okay, so you can see my screen, right?
I can.
Cool. All right, so what I did, let me just give you context here for my question. So I've made a ton of progress. I built out this whole like profile functionality for users now, so that any volunteer can now come to our website and be prompted for all this different stuff. And so this is all working. Tanya, your recommendation with that, instead of the auto binding with that method that you showed me in Loom, worked brilliantly. So that solved that challenge.
Awesome.
Then what I've done is I've made these intelligent prompts. So I'll just like demonstrate it first here. So basically, if I come here and I don't yet have an account, I can create one. And what it does is it checks for the existence of data here, and it will prompt you with each one of these things. So if once I pick a role, then that goes away and it gives me this one. So it's kind of like this cool onboarding.
Yeah, I like it.
Right. So it basically leads you through until you've done everything. What I can't figure out though is how do I, like, you see how it still has the space for that element, it just hides it. Is there a way to just make this disappear altogether? So like there is not even that space there?
Yeah, I can't remember. Are you using the new responsive or the old responsive?
I'm using the new engine.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, just go ahead and click in that element.
Okay.
And go to layout. And then check collapse when hidden. Up at the top.
Okay.
Yep. And then do that on each one, and let's test to make sure. It used to be in the old responsive editor, we would have to group it in a group and then collapse the whole, like hide and collapse the whole group. But with the new responsive, everything is collapsible, which is great.
Cool. All right. So let me just delete one of these. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's it. Perfect. Amazing. Cool.
Awesome.
And then since that was a short one, let me just, and I've also got to run to an event right after this. Do you know what I need to do? Like, see how it's, instead of stacking, it's squeezing these containers. Is there a simple fix to that? I've tinkered with the row and the column
Yep,
stuff.
make a minimum width on each of those groups. And then I think that's how you do it. I'm not an expert at responsiveness, so I'm sure I can find out for you if that doesn't work.
Okay, let me just test. So this is one of them. Oops. So that's a group minimum width. So like 350, I guess, or
no, maybe 300.
So let's see.
So I think they all need minimum widths on them so that they'll be forced.
Okay. Let me just make that like 200. Okay.
There we go. Now they're starting to stack a little bit. It's not exactly the desired behavior, so you're probably going to want to use some conditions where the page width is less than, and then you would, or something like that. But yeah, that's the start of how to make things stack. Is you would just say this, each thing has a minimum width. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Very helpful. Thank you guys. Sorry to have to drop off so quick. I'm racing to another
Hey,
event.
no worries. It was good to see you.
All right. Good seeing you guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Hi, Stanko.
Hello, Taya.
How's it going?
Great, thank you. Should I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
I saw your editor for a second.
Is that right? Oh, I'm not sure what happened.
It's probably Zoom getting in your way. That's usually
Probably.
what happens.
Oh my God. What the hell?
I can see your editor.
You can see the editor?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here I just want to go through when and we went through this last time. When we create a company, we create a new company here, and the company admin is the current user when they sign up, and it's added to managers, and then it creates a truck satellite. All right.
So actually you would delete that field from step 1, the truck sat, because it's effectively setting that field to empty, which is already empty. So in step 1, I would just delete the truck sat field altogether.
This one? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then you create the truck sat in step 2.
Okay.
And then when you make changes in step 4, actually in step 4.
Step 4, yeah.
That's where you add the truck sat. Okay, yep, that looks right.
Which is right. Okay, so this is all fine. Now, when we want to delete this company, and they delete it in the page account, how do we delete which comes first? Do we delete the company or do we delete the user? Because the company now has the links to TrackSat, to job sites, and all the other relevant tables. in the database. And if a user wants to delete the company account, it also has drivers that are connected to it, related, all the related tables to it. How do we delete all of this if the user decides to delete the company?
Okay, so the company is being deleted, and we want to delete all of its
Associated
all of
data?
its trucks and its truck stat, and you even want to delete the user?
Well, I would, yes, I think the user is a company admin, so they would need to be deleted, I believe. Otherwise, what deleting the company would mean deleting everything, all the everything related to this company, I would think, including
Okay.
the trucks, the drivers, the job sites, the dispatch records. Or if we only deleted the company and the company admin, the manager
Everything would remain.
would
Right.
remain, right? And so another question is, and then if this user decides to come back under the same email address and, for example, password signs up again, would these links would still be there, right?
No. So
No. Okay.
what you would do is the first step in this workflow would be to delete a list of things. So go ahead and click to add an action, and we're going to delete a list of things. So in data, so the first things we'll delete are the trucks.
Shucks. Okay.
And the list to delete would be, I think it's the current user who's clicking that button, right?
Yes, or could be the manager too, which, and also this, the company admin is added in the manager field as well.
Okay, so actually what we probably want to do is click on the workflow itself. The pink one, yeah. Oh, I see. This is a front end workflow, not a back end workflow. I would send it to the back end. So
Yeah,
maybe that's the first step. Is I would go to the back end workflows.
Okay.
I should have known because you can't disable a back end workflow.
Okay.
And then a new API workflow, and we can just call it delete. And then add a parameter.
Sorry.
And the key will be company of type company.
Okay.
All right, and then click to add the first action is going to be, nope, click to add an action and you're going to delete a list of things. And the type of things will be trucks. And then the list to delete, probably we'll want to do a search for here, which is fine to do. So do a search for trucks where the company is the company. There you go. Actually, I would just say the company because we're going to pass that in through the parameters. So you can switch that out, just clear out the blue expression. And just select company. Yep, there we go. That should work.
Okay.
And then the next step is going to delete another list of things. Or wait, hang on a second. Is there another list of things to delete?
Well, all of them are kind of connected. Yeah, the whole thing, the dispatch record, the confirmation, job sites, dump sites, you know.
Yep, so you would just keep deleting a list of all the things that are connected to that company. So anything that has a company field, you would delete a list of things where that company equals the company in this workflow. Then at the end of the workflow, that's when you would schedule another API workflow, which is to actually delete the company. And the reason you would do that is you want to make sure that everything is deleted
first.
first. Yeah.
All right, so it is, yeah. So I'd have to go through every table and delete the list of in every table, search for every table where the company is this company.
Yep.
And okay, and then in the
Even
end,
the user, you would even delete a thing and delete or probably the managers of the company. So you would
Yeah.
delete a list of users where their company equals the company.
so in the end, so we would delete all the rest of the things, and then we would delete the company itself or the user or the company admin first.
You would delete the users and everybody first, and then at the very end of that workflow, you need to actually have another API workflow where I would delete the company.
Okay, so let's say we deleted the list of things. Okay, here it is. Trucks, and then we'll add up all the other tables. And then now we're up to the user table. And this would be
company.
I'm sorry?
So go ahead and choose. Yeah, I would do companies, managers, right? Because those are all the users associated.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then delete them. All right. And then and then the company itself.
I would schedule it. So click to add another backend workflow. So at the bottom, click to add another one, and it'll be a new API workflow.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know, I might be just paranoid, but I think you need to schedule it in another backend workflow because you can't guarantee that Bubble is going to run everything in order. But then that means you can't guarantee that it's not going to schedule the API workflow again. So we can test it and see. So here, this would be the actual place where you're deleting the company. So the first one, you're deleting company related things, and this one, you're deleting the company.
So this one will be deleting the company in another workflow.
Yes.
All right. So this one will be delete company.
I might be doing overkill here because it might be that Bubble is smart enough to remember a deleted thing long enough to delete its other stuff, but we'll see. We can test and find out.
If the question is, does Bubble remember if it's just deleted something that you're then deleting the other references to? No.
No, it doesn't. I'm right. Okay.
No, so I did that before. I tried to delete a user and then delete everything that user created. I did the delete user first and then everything else afterwards, and it didn't do any of the other stuff because all the other stuff was delete stuff
related
that X
to
user had
deleted
done.
thing.
So you have to do you've got to work backwards from it.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we got to work backwards, Colin, you saying?
Yeah, just so whatever the hierarchy of data points is, if you're doing delete this thing that is linked to this, don't delete the link thing first. Sorry, that's a terrible way of describing it. But yeah, whatever the thing is that isn't attached to anything else, that's the thing you should delete first.
So you changed the name of the delete company related things. Now add another workflow that's called delete company. Yep, and you can add, the company. And then click to add an action, and it's just going to be to delete a thing. And delete the company.
Okay, in this here, we're still okay with the company here.
Yep. So now the very last step of this particular workflow is going to be to schedule the delete company workflow.
Right. So this we can call,
Nope, you would just select delete company
okay, we'll schedule that
and
one.
then schedule it at current date and time. And then the company will be company. Now click into the only when here because I want to see if we have any access to like results of anything. We don't.
Yeah, I was thinking that can we do results of first step or fourth or follow up so they doesn't do it in parallel?
Yeah, I was hoping so, but it doesn't look like we can do that unless we delete everything in a recursive workflow, which we could totally build out. That wouldn't be a problem to build out like a daisy chain of recursive workflows to delete everything. But I really feel like that's overkill. So let's say in here that, let's just test it. Let's do a search for so do a search for users where the company equals company. And then the count, search for users count is less than 1. And then schedule, and then do another workflow here.
Here,
Click to add an action. Yep, click to add an action, and we'll do a custom event, schedule API workflow, and schedule the same one, delete company related things, and current date and time. And the company will be company.
Oh,
Yep.
here we do have the results of step 4.
And then we're only going to do this. So copy in the previous step, I think in step 4, I want you to copy the condition. And then I want you to paste it in the new one. And then change the less than, make it greater than 0. Because this will make this recursive until all of the managers are deleted. And then hopefully that will make sure like it will eventually stop running, and then hopefully it will schedule the delete company. We can test it and see. Do you have good test data that you want to try this with?
I didn't plan on it. I would. Oh, okay, but this is only gonna delete. Yeah, we can do it in the 3. Let me just fix these issues. I believe we can delete this and should be fixed.
Oh, you can just delete that one. It looks empty. I think we just accidentally made an empty workflow.
This one is an empty one. Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we have no issues. All right, so let's delete someone else that let's delete a company that actually, I'm sorry, this one doesn't have any data. Let's see. We have trucks, is that right? Yeah. Oh my God, sorry. Okay.
Oh, we have to schedule the backend workflow. Oh, Bubble. You think that it would learn to read our minds or something? But
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you gotta go to the account page. I think that's disabled, actually. Oh yeah, this is disabled. All right, so
so here you just want to delete all of the steps and then add the action to schedule the first backend workflow.
company is current users company,
Current users company. Yep.
right? And then after that, I'll
And
go back.
I would ignore privacy rules when running the workflow.
Okay. And should we do that on all the ones? We didn't do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. And you can make it not disabled.
All right. Okay, so we're back in the index. Oh. Okay, the company admin is still here.
All right, refresh one more time.
Okay.
All right, let's go to your logs. In the server logs. Oh, hang on a sec. Click show again.
Oh,
Okay,
maybe
let's go
now.
back to your data and refresh. Nope, it's still there.
Is it? Yeah.
It's the, which one is it again?
DIDA. Yeah,
Yep, it's still
here.
there. Okay, let's go to the logs again. Delete company related things, current user. It takes Bubble a while sometimes to delete, but how many things were in each of those lists? Do we know?
How many? There weren't that many, but we didn't do all that. Like we didn't do all of the tables, I guess.
Okay, good. Click show.
So,
Okay, go back to data.
oh, this is, oh yeah, it's got different IDI.
Yeah,
Yes, it's working.
in a,
Is it?
well, it's not working because I didn't want it to repeat itself so many times. So let's go to let's cancel that. Just pause tasks for a second and then show. Click show. And then cancel.
Cancel all or?
Nope. Well, I mean you could, but just cancel the one.
Okay.
Yep. And then click resume tasks. And then click show. All right, so something we were doing was causing an infinite loop. So let's go into the backend workflows. And I was scheduling to delete the company only when the company's managers. Search for users with that company is less than one, then I was scheduling to delete the company. And other ones. So this is, yeah, so this is what we're running into. I think we're gonna have to break this out into a, we're gonna have to daisy chain this a little bit more. So separate out and do a workflow for, I think the, yeah, let me think through this, Stanko. I think
Sure.
I'm gonna have to break it out into recursive workflows.
Okay.
I just, your instinct is right. We can't delete the company until we delete all of its related items in the database, or else we'll orphan those items and then it will
Right.
just create a messy database. So,
Right. It won't find them. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I will work on a solution for that.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. I'm just making sure, do I have permission to do that workflow in your app?
Sure. Yeah, you do.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Hi, Yash.
Hello, hi Tonya, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
All good, all good. So, yeah, I had a design question. So, um,
You're a brave soul asking me. I don't claim to be very good at design.
uh, yeah, I actually want to achieve this look where you have like this two SVGs lying around the either side of the page, and it's like you can easily do it in desktop view, but as soon as you go in mobile view, uh, it it doesn't go well in bubble. Like it used to get small and it starts getting messy. So I was wondering around how to do that. Like uh,
So your question is how to get it to resize when you're resizing your screen?
yeah, and to maintain the same position. I mean, to change the position. Sorry. So currently, if you see in the desktop view, it's like on the same line. But as soon as you go in a mobile view, it goes around. The first one goes a little bit up. The second one goes a little bit down to give a nicer look. So
Okay.
yeah, I was trying to achieve that.
This would take me a lot of time to figure out. This is a little bit above my responsive skills, but I think that the main thing is you would need to have those two things in a group together so that they can maintain their position, and then possibly having like setting them. Yeah, I would need to play around with that, but probably
I'll try that.
What was that?
Yeah, I will try that.
Yeah, just see if you can play around with the grouping, because if you want those two things to behave in a similar way, they probably need to be in the same group.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's where I would start. And then I'm trying to think who would be the best person to ask that question. Let me see if I can find someone who would have a good answer for that question. Maybe Thomas or Ben would be able to answer it. I'm all about the logic, Yash.
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Did you have another question?
No, that's all. Like so,
That's it
having
for now? This is totally also a great question to post in the general channel in our Slack.
Yeah, I will. All right.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for your pointers.
Yes, of course. My pleasure. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Have you had that baby yet?
No, still waiting. Still
Okay.
waiting on pins and needles.
Yes, I bet. I imagine so.
Yeah.
How can I help?
I got a question here about search bars, and let's see, share this screen. Okay, so I've got this is like a page you can see. If you're trying to sign into school and you've been there before, it'll pull up this page. But let's say you have a common name, like in this example, I've got John Doe. Is there a way that within the search bar function you can have like a small inlaid picture so that person who's checking in knows they're the right John Doe in this example?
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't use the drop down.
Okay.
Yeah, no, so you would make a custom drop down, which is essentially I would use probably a group focus, and then you can completely customize in a repeating group what you want to show.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So group focus with a repeating group in it.
Yep, exactly. And the group focus works the way, so if you go to the appearance of the group focus,
all right,
you attach it to the element that you want it to be like underneath, and then you can change its position underneath by using the offset top and offset left.
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying. So
Yep.
Okay, I'll watch some videos about this and play around with it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty simple to set up, and then it's just a repeating group like you've done repeating groups before, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you would just have the name and the picture in whichever order you want in the repeating group. And then you would set the workflow when they click the group within the repeating group. That's, how you would select.
And send your data.
So, yep, and send your data.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll fiddle around with that. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem. It's possible there are plugins that would help you do that as well. If you wanted to check them out, there's some plugins for that stuff. I prefer to just make them myself because then I have lots of control and I don't have to be dependent on a plugin author.
I'm the same way. I agree with you on that.
I try to minimize my use of plugins, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I know Eli was using a QuickBooks plugin that crashed his app out of the blue about a year ago. He was like, we weren't even using it.
It was just abandoned by the plugin author.
Something happened and the app ended up crashing, and he dug into it, and I'm guessing he probably dug into it for hours to figure it out, and finally figured out it was a plugin that was wreaking havoc on the app.
Yeah, that'll ruin your day.
It will. John, we made it all the way back to you. You have any more questions?
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Next thing. So I was playing with this earlier, and whichever combo I tried, I could not get it to work. So you see here, you have the last crawled date and time. And then up here, I have a filter. And what I've done, so if I don't format this, it just gives me all of these dates and times in a long list. So I have to select an individual one. So what I want to be able to do is to select, say, May, and it gives me all of the ones that happened in May, but maintains the date timestamp like this. And that's where so I changed this so it just shows the month. That's fine. But whatever filters I try and put on this, I can't seem to fathom out to say, well, okay, when I select May, give me from the 1st of May to the end of May as per this.
Okay. Show me what happens when you click May. Like, show me the workflow.
Nothing will happen at the moment because I've not added any filter.
Okay, got it. All right, so I think what you're looking for is 2 filters.
Okay.
Were you doing that?
No,
Or were you just using one?
I was, so in here, I think, so I've deleted it because I couldn't get it to work. So I think I had, so like last crawled equals, so I want what, greater than?
Yep, you want greater than May 1st at midnight probably, and then you want to add another one which is less than or less
Yeah,
than
so it won't
June
even let
1st.
me access that drop down either.
Let's see here. Is the drop down in a reusable element?
No. So it could be because it's changed it to be text. So this is date. And this, because I've had to change it to formatted as, it changes it to text. So I presume that's what's going on. It's saying, well, you can't use it because you're trying to operate on a date field, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's why. So let's do a.
So quite why changing it to just say, show me the date this way, changes it to text is a bit annoying, but I know that that's how it does it.
Right, and I get it. So let's then put, how do we convert it back? So when you select that drop down, we also probably want to set a date state and see if we can convert that date state into like, I don't know if we can do that. I don't know. I know Bubble does a great job with arbitrary date, but I don't think you can do dynamic things in an arbitrary date. Do you know what I mean? Is that making any sense to you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. So let's try it anyway. Let's create a state on the page called last crawled date or something like that.
Make that text or date?
Date.
Date. Okay.
And then right click on the drop down. Start and edit workflow. And then set that state, and let's see what we can do to set the state. And then, yep, do this drop down's value, but that's not going to work, so clear that out. And let's try arbitrary date, but I'm sure it's not going to work. It's not going to let us do it. Please, Bubble, surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't give you
No, like dynamic. Yeah.
anything here. I don't know why they don't. It would be so helpful if they would. I mean, they just take text in there. What, I don't understand why they can't make it dynamic. Okay. So let's last crawl date. Let's do an option set because these are just month names, right? You're getting the month name. Okay. So let's go to your data. And
what, are you thinking of creating an option set that does January through to December?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
But then we're going to store a date for each of those, an actual date. So just so call it month OS probably.
Yeah.
And then create a new attribute, which will be date. And it'll be of type date. and then January, May, and so forth.
Let's just do a few so we get the idea. Yeah.
It'll need to match the text that you have in that drop down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go with that for now. Yeah.
All right, and then let's modify the attributes for May.
For May, right? Okay. Yeah.
And let's select May 1st at 12 a.m.
Okay. Oh, I've got to do it in American, haven't I? 5, 1, 2022 at what? 12.
12 a.m. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and go ahead and save. And now let's go back to that workflow. And we're setting the state, and now here we want to get an option. And will be the month. And the option will be all options. And then we're going to filter. And where the constraint is this option, so this month OS, display is this drop down value. And then first item on the value, and then date. Whew. So now you have, every time you select one of those things, it's going to set that date, and that date is going to be the first. The problem with this, of course, is the year, because right now it will work because you'll set everything to be 2022, but then in subsequent years, so you're going to have to take that into account as you're working with this date to make sure that you're like making it year independent. Otherwise, you'll have to go in and update those dates once a year, which, you know, isn't a big deal, but you don't want to be like debugging that
on December the 31st, going through doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The alternative is we could have done the same thing and used a data type instead. And then if we had done that, it would have given us, we could do in a backend workflow, we could just at the end of every year or whatever, we could go in and change the dates, right? Or at the end of each, you know, so forth. So we could we could create backend workflows for a data type that way.
Okay. Let's not worry about that for now, and we'll see if it works first. Okay. So I've got that. Okay. So what am I doing now then?
So now in your filters, and I have to go in just a minute.
Okay.
But in your filters on that list, now last crawled, you're going to say is greater than or equal to the state on the page.
Okay. Yeah.
The date state that you created, and then is less than that date plus 1 month. And then add a new constraint.
Yeah.
And now it's,
So like that, yeah?
Yep, exactly. Or, well, no, add 1 month to it, to the second one, because it needs to be less than that date plus 1 month.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Right, that makes sense.
And you want to test it? It should work for May.
You're feeling brave, are you?
I am. With less than a minute to go.
Oh, yes, that does work.
We did
it.
It.
Fabulous. Very good. You've
Awesome.
found your way around Bubbles' failures. That's good.
I did. Do you mind if I hand off the session to you? And if you gentlemen, yeah, okay, awesome. Yeah. I will see you hopefully on Friday.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, Tanya.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording as well. Please come join us at pronocoders.com